Hey guys, happy Friday. It's Joe, and it's time for a Pocket with Joe. Can't believe it is already Friday. We have 3 games on the ice today. I want to thank you guys for joining me here on YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. I am live every Monday to Friday at 3:30 Eastern. Tomorrow is the weekend, and we do have games on the weekend. What I'm going to be doing for the weekend is going over 3 of my favorite games of the day. I'm going to get that up before these games kick off. Now, that will be a live show as well. Let's just quickly take a look at what time the games start tomorrow. And I'll tell you what time I will have my Pocket with Joe. So games will kick off tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern. I will have the games up. And My Best Bets is live show. We will do that tomorrow let's do it at 11 a.m. Eastern for that show. So let's jump into today's games. You guys, we only have 3 on the board, and there are going to be some good games here on a Friday night. Again, thank you for joining me here on Pocket with Joe. We have the Tampa Bay Lightning taking on the Florida Panthers tonight. Now, this is an interesting matchup. These 2 teams are coming in as a pick, and we have 2 elite goalies here, with Vasilevsky coming out for the Tampa Bay Lightning and Bobrovsky for the Florida Panthers. Now, Bobrovsky has a 2.74 goals against average on the season. Vasilevsky coming in here with 2.73. He hasn't looked as strong, either has the defense for the Tampa Bay Lightning to start off this season. They're allowing an average of 3.5 goals per game and 34 shots on goal. Vasilevsky right now and the defense of the Lightning just really have to get into some sort of rhythm. And I do expect them to find that rhythm. I just don't know if they're going to find it here on the road versus the Florida Panthers. This should be a get-right spot for them. What I'm going to look at here is the total. We have a total that opened at 6.5, now up to 7. With the strength of the Panthers defensively, allowing that 3 goals, I think we can still trend to this over in this game. I think both these teams are going to come out strong offensively, and that is what's going to lead this game. I know 7's a high number. At worst, I think with this total, we get a push with this being 3-3 going into overtime, getting that push on 7. If you can find a 6.5 still out there with good value, I think that is your safest way to take this. These 2 teams have trended to the under in those last 4 meetings, but what we've seen out of Tampa's defense, I don't think it happens. Offensively, Tampa also just isn't clicking out there. We have to see the Tampa Bay Lightning come out stronger, and I think they will. So give me the over 7 in this one. I'm also looking at Vasilevsky, his shots on goal. Now, he has a number of 31.5 save shots on goal for tonight. I think I'm going to take this one over. We look at Tampa. They are allowing tons of shots on goal. They're allowing 34 shots on goal on average per game. Vasilevsky is going to be able to do enough in this one against a Florida Panthers team that is averaging 35.5 shots on goal. So even if they come and get 36 shots on Vasilevsky, I struggle to see him giving up more than 5. So this one would put us right at that number, 31.5. I'm going to take it over. I think he has a solid day. And I think with what we've seen out of Tampa defensively, we're going to see them allow these shots on Vasilevsky. So it's all going to be on his shoulders tonight for Tampa to get this win. He has to be the goalie that we know he is, which means he has to get those saves. So I'm going to look at Vasilevsky for his save shots on goal over 31.5, but this one's still going to that over. I tell you, if you would have told me that the Tampa Bay Lightning would come into this one 1-3 on the season, I wouldn't have believed you. We've got the Florida Panthers rolling in at 3-1. These 2 teams just trending in the complete opposite direction. Tampa really needs to get things going back in the right direction for them. Now, when we look at some player props in this one, Stamkos has been the main weapon for the Tampa Bay Lightning. We can take him for an anytime goal tonight at plus 142. I think that is a great way to take it. Now, Matthew Tkachuk of the Florida Panthers has been their top offensive weapon as well For his anytime goal tonight, it's plus 168. So I'm going to look at that as well. I want to thank you guys again for joining me here for Pocket with Joe on TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. It's great to see you guys all here. Now, let's jump into the next game, you guys. We have the Detroit Red Wings taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. The Red Wings coming in as quite the improved team here. I'm liking them to get the win. I think this is a short line as well for them, taking it at minus 113. I really did expect them to come in as higher odd favorites here against the Chicago Blackhawks. They are off an overtime loss. And when we look at the Red Wings off a loss, it doesn't look good. They've lost off a loss in overtime. They've lost their last 13 games off a loss in overtime. But I think this trend gets broken. This team is a different team here with them picking up Husso, who came from the St. Louis Blues. They also have David Perrin. I think this team is going to have a phenomenal night here. I like their ability to get these goals on the Chicago Blackhawks and for the Chicago Blackhawks to struggle again. Now, the Chicago Blackhawks are only averaging 2.33 goals per game. They're allowing 2.67. So their defense is stepping up. They're still allowing those shots on goals coming in at 32.7. We have a Red Wings team rolling in, getting the puck in the back of the net, averaging 4 goals per game and 31.7 shots on net. This defense is stepping up as well for the Red Wings, holding opponents to 2.33 goals per game. I think we got a solid one here for the Red Wings. Give me the Red Wings on the money line. And then for this game, I'm liking the Blackhawks team total. We can get their team total under 2.5. I do think this is a lower scoring game. So under 6.5, I think is a great way to take it. But the under 2.5 for the Chicago Blackhawks is plus money at plus 130. I don't see them getting more than 2 goals on Husso for this under to hit and for Detroit to win. It's how this game has to go. We look at the Red Wings. They're just a young, talented team, and I think they have the upper hand in this one over the Blackhawks. So give me the Blackhawks team total under 2.5, the under 6.5 for the game, and the Red Wings here to get the nice win here on the money line. We also look at the Red Wings this season so far. They haven't lost in regulation time, you guys. They have been so solid for us. They have struggled going into Chicago, going 5-14 in the last 19 meetings. But between these two in the last 8 meetings, the road team has been solid, going 6-2. And like I said, with Husso in goal now for the Red Wings, this seems like a different team. The late game of the night, you guys, the last one on the board, we have the Seattle Kraken taking on the Colorado Avalanche. Now, the Avs are off an overtime loss. They're going to be pissed off getting out here on the ice. They lost that one to the Jets. Now, if you're watching that game, a beautiful goal the Jets were able to get in that one. I thought the Avs would have taken that game. We had the Jets team total over. It was a great game, made us some money, but the Avs aren't going to be impressed coming here at home. Very hard to beat the Avs at home. Now, when we look at Seattle, they have lost their last 3. Grubauer starting in goal. Well, he's expected to start in goal tonight. He's got a goals against average of 4.26. So I am looking for the goals to come in this one. When we look at the Seattle Kraken, they're not getting the goals highly. They're getting 2.8 goals per game on 32.2 shots. Their defense is shooting them in the foot, allowing 4 goals per game and 29.2 shots on goal. So they're limiting those shots on goal, but Grubauer is allowing them to go in. When we look at Colorado, so strong offensively, they're averaging 4.25 goals per game, 32.8 shots on goal. They are allowing 3.5 goals per game, though. This Colorado team isn't as strong defensively as we've seen out of them in previous seasons. They are limiting teams to 27.8 shots on goal, though. So I'm looking for them to come out stronger. And for this one, though, to still go to that over. I think over 6.5 is a strong way to take this. Now, I think we can also look at that first period over. I expect Colorado to come out and get 2 goals in the first period. We can take the over in the first period. It is juiced, so over 1.5 at minus 160. So it's not great value there. What is better value is a Colorado Avalanche in that first period. We can take the Colorado Avalanche to win straight up in that first period for beautiful plus money. It's plus 112 I'm getting over at FanDuel. So check that out. And you guys make sure before placing your bets, go over and shop those lines at Betstamp. Use referral code Madden. Always get the best value for your bets. It adds up over the year. So this game, we're going to take the over 6.5. The first period you can take over, but I don't like the value. The Kraken's team total, though, is another one I'm looking at. We look at the Kraken, and they're averaging that 2.8 goals per game. But what's Colorado doing defensively? They're giving up the goals. I'm going to take, they're giving up 3.5 goals per game on average. Defense just not really jiving well out there on the ice. So I'm going to take the Kraken's team total over 2.5. For this game to go over, the Kraken have to get over that 2.5 and hit 3 goals. Now, the value on this, we're getting minus 100 to minus 103 here for the Kraken over that 2.5. And then I'm going to take the Avs in that first period to win it. I think it's a 2-0 start for the Colorado Avalanche as they come out with fire in this one. Now, when I look at some player props in this, you guys, there's a couple I'm liking here. You can look at Nathan McKinnon of the Colorado Avalanche for his shots on goal. We get that over 4.5 at minus 118. Now, in each of his games so far this season, he's had 5 shots on goal. I'm expecting with the Kraken allowing 29.2 shots on goal for Nathan McKinnon to come out strong in this one, get the shots on goal and go over this number. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets 6 or 7 shots on Grubauer tonight. So another one I always look at is Cale Makar. I've told you guys, every single day, I think the Avs have played. If you take Cale Makar just over his total each and every week, you will, for his block shots on goal, you will make money over the year because Cale Makar is fantastic out there. The only problem is the books don't always offer it. So when you can get it, take it. I'm not finding a number today. My 3 books that I use, they don't have it up yet. So if you can get Cale Makar over 2.5 block shots, over 3.5 block shots at good value, definitely take it. You guys, that's those 3 games. We wrap them up really quick. What we're going to do is we're going to go over the parlay, the long shot parlay and a safer parlay. Now, yesterday's money line straight up parlay absolutely sucked. I'm going to say it. It was terrible. So many of these teams that I really thought the Dogs were going to get the upsets weren't able to get it done. And the Bruins not coming out, covering the puck line and not going over their team total really hurt me personally in my bets yesterday. I expected a lot more out of the Bruins. They weren't able to get it done. They had a really weak offensive game. If we would have looked at the over and under leans yesterday, wow, 8 of the 12 went the way that I was expecting, but those money line straight up winners just were not in my favor yesterday. So today for the long shot parlay, who I think is going to win straight up on the money line, I'm going to take a shot on the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Detroit Red Wings, and the Colorado Avalanche. Now, taking those 3 teams straight up to win, $10 pays $51.94. And like I said, you guys, always something happens in a parlay. You guys know parlays are not the best way to make money. If you're looking to have fun, if you're looking to play like a lottery ticket, that's when you bet parlays because they hardly ever cash. Now, the safer parlay that I'm looking at, $10 pays $37.20. I would take the Lightning and the Panthers over 6. Now, buy that 0.5 point. Take the under 6.5 for the Red Wings and Blackhawks and the Avs on the money line. So that one, $10 pays $37.20. Now, if you want to make it a little bit riskier, which I still think is pretty safe because I love the Colorado Avalanche in the first period, switch out the Colorado Avalanche in the first period and on the money line and take them in the first period. That changes that bet from $10 paying $37.20 to $10 paying $59.48. Now, with parlays, all 3 things have to go right. It's why the books love us betting parlays. So remember that. Anything you put on a parlay, be willing to throw away. These are for fun on this show. It's just the way I'm leaning on all of these games. Now, if you guys want my best bet, my best bets for today. The link is in YouTube, in the bio, or in the description below. Twitter and TikTok. It's in the bio on my link tree. But you guys, let's do a quick recap of everything I'm liking in these games. Again, thank you for joining me for Pocket with Joe. Let's have a killer night on the ice between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Florida Panthers. I think the Lightning get it done tonight. It's going to be a hard one. Vasilevsky over 31.5 save shots on goal, and the over 7 in this one. 2 player props also, as well as that goalie prop. Stamkos, anytime goal for the Tampa Bay Lightning, and Matthew Tkachuk, anytime goal for the Florida Panthers. The Detroit Red Wings and the Chicago Blackhawks. I'm going to take a chance on the Red Wings here on that money line. I think this is a lower scoring one. I'm hitting the under 6.5, and I love the Blackhawks team total under 2.5. Another thing you can do in this one, which I like as well, I think David Perron of the Red Wings comes out, has a strong game. You can get over 3 shots on goal for -130 for him. He had 6 shots versus the Kings, and I think the Kings defensively came out stronger than we'll see the Blackhawks come out tonight. So I do like David Perron there as well for those shots on goal over 3. Now, for the Seattle Kraken and the Colorado Avalanche, I love the over 6.5 here in this game. The first period over 1.5, but it's too highly juiced. The Kraken over 2.5 total goals tonight. That's -103. And the Avs in the first period at +112. Cale Makar block shots on goal over 3.5. I'd even go up to, if you can get that on your book. And Nathan McKinnon over 4.5 shots on goal tonight. Now, one other thing I think is really strong here is the Avs laying the puck line here, laying 1.5 over the Seattle Kraken. And I think there is definitely still value there. I think they have a good one. But you guys, thank you so much for joining me here for Pocket with Joe. I appreciate each and every one of you. Keep smiling, and you know the drill. Let's make some freaking money this weekend. Bye, guys.